As the PLC is an electronic device, it is required that all the relevant safety factors are taken into consideration. These safety factors includes the Occupational Health and Safety Act, as well as specific regulations that is linked to the Occupational Health and Safety Act. To highlight a few points, firstly, the PLC needs to be grounded. Okay, firstly, it serves as electrical noise protection from the environment, and also it serves as a safety aspect. All wiring or ground wires must be as short as possible, and adequate wire thickness or sizes must be used. The PLC unit should have its own electrical switch in order to remove power from all the PLC equipment and units. Fuses and circuit breakers are also required for the PLC unit in order to disconnect against high current scenarios. Then anti-surge protection can also be used to avoid damage from lightning strikes. When wiring is done on the PLC, you must avoid placing low voltage signals next to supply cables, as this could lead to potential interference. All wires should be adequate to carry the correct AC or DC values. Incorrect values could cause fire hazards. All connectors should be wired correctly and fitted securely. Avoid over tightening the screws on the PLC. Make sure that there are switches to isolate the PLC or individual modules so that trained personnel can work on them without electrocution. Double check all connections before powering on, as incorrect wiring could lead to physical injury, damage, or fire. You should also be aware of the current and voltage limitations of the PLC unit itself. PLCs can be supplied by 12 volt DC, 24 volt DC, or 240 volt AC. These are the units that I've seen and worked with before. For the DC versions, a power supply is required, and you should ensure that the power supply has the correct voltage and current capabilities. And then the 240 volt AC connects directly to a supply socket in order to supply power to the unit. Furthermore, the output terminals of the PLC are limited in their voltage and current. These will be determined by the model of the PLC that is actually being used. PLCs will be able to either control or handle their normal 12 or 24 volt DC on the output. Some units are actually capable of handling a 240 volt supply on the output. For units like the 12 and the 24 volt DC units, typically they will connect to a relay, which in turn will connect to a contactor, so that the PLC is electrically disconnected from the circuitry or the devices that it is controlling. This is very safe for the PLC as it adds an additional layer or barrier of protection between the control and the load circuits.